steps, learning at home during everyday activities. This is session 1, where we will talk about early intervention and routines. My name is Andrea Cedar, and I am a developmental consultant at Surrey Place. So in this session, we're going to talk about early intervention. We're going to talk about what is early intervention and why is it important to teach new skills and to support our child's development early on in their life. Then we're going to talk about routines. What is a routine? What routines exist in my home? And what can I teach my child during these routines? So when we hear the term early intervention, what we're really talking about are the services and the supports that are offered to families to help their children learn and grow and really catch up with their development. They are often offered to families whose children are delayed or at risk of being delayed in their development. And what we know is when you help your child early on, when they're nice and young, there's a better chance that they will learn new skills and increase their success in school and life. Research shows that the connections in a baby's brains are most adaptable in the first 3 years of their lives. And these connections, which are also called neural circuits, are the foundation for learning and behavior and a child's health. Over time, these connections become harder and harder to change. And so we know that right now, when your baby is young, they're able to learn, they're able to be flexible in their thinking and in their learning. But as they get older, their brain gets a little bit more stubborn. So the earlier developmental delays are detected and the intervention begins, the greater the chance a young child has of achieving his or her best potential. One of the big focuses of early intervention is that the learning happens at home while a child is in their natural environment, in their everyday routines. And we know that's really important because there's a lot of different learning opportunities within the child's home and within the child's environment. There's a wide range of skills and behaviors that can be addressed right in the home, and they can be addressed right when it's happening. So if we're working on life skills like getting dressed, there's lots of opportunities to do that throughout the day. If we're working on listening and following instructions, how many instructions can we give our child throughout the day? And instead of waiting for a therapy or waiting for a community provider to provide these supports, we can do it throughout our daily routines. When we're talking about what a routine is, routines happen throughout everybody's everyday lives, and they're all over the place. And sometimes we don't necessarily consider an event or an activity that we're doing as a routine. But if it has a clear beginning and an end and a regular set of rules and a sequence of events that happen throughout that routine, then it's a routine. So we know that mealtime usually starts off with meal preparation, putting plates on the table, putting food on our plates, eating that food, wiping our faces and clearing the dishes. And so that is a routine in itself. Even though it seems like just something that we have to do and we get through every day, we can consider it a routine. And so if you think about it, we have lots of different routines that happen throughout the day. What we have on this slide is just a couple of different examples of routines that we have that happen throughout the day. Sometimes routines happen really frequently, like eating, we do that a couple of times a day. Toileting, we do it a couple times a day. Brushing our teeth, playing with our toys, and maybe even traveling to school or to daycare or to visit a friend or a neighbor. So some routines happen really frequently. Sometimes they're maybe just once a day, and so we still know that there's a beginning and an end and a middle to that routine, but it might be something like dressing or reading a book or going to bed that we just do once in a while or once a day. And then less frequently, we have those things like maybe a weekly music class or going grocery shopping or having a big family celebration. They're still routines that are consistent and predictable, but they're a little bit less frequent. Routines themselves have such important elements to them that really help children and everybody else learn effectively. One of the aspects that they have is an element of consistency. So when things are consistent, it means that we know it's going to happen once a day, twice a day, once a week, and we are aware of the all of the different parts within that routine. And when things are consistent, it gives us a chance to practice and repeat and practice those routines and learn all of the different parts of that routine, which is really fantastic. Another part about routines is that they're predictable. And when things are predictable, we can settle into that routine and really benefit from all of the skill building opportunities within a routine. If it's unpredictable, if our day is unpredictable, we're constantly wondering and worrying, what are we going to do next? How did I get here? Instead of really focusing on learning in that specific routine. Another great thing about routines is that they are functional, right? So which means that the routines have a purpose. There's a reason why we do them. We eat so that we have our nutritional needs met. We get dressed to be warm. We sleep to rejuvenate and to recover. So we have to do these routines throughout the day. So we might as well learn from them and build in new skills while we are doing the routines. Lastly, routines change with the family. As the child and the family grow and develop, the routines will all still be there, but they might just look a little bit different. So a 6-month-old and a 2-year-old at the dinner table is going to have a different looking routine within mealtime. They might be using utensils at 2 years old. They might be chewing foods and eating a sandwich, whereas at a 6-month stage, they're not going to be doing that. Sometimes families grow, sometimes families move, and so the routines will all still be there, yet they might look a little bit different and change with the family as the family grows. So let's think about your family. What are some of the routines that your child is involved with during your daily life? And what we're going to ask you to do in the next few slides is to take some time to think about all of the different routines that are happening in your daily life. Which ones is your child involved with? And then the next thing we need you to start to do is think about, okay, out of all of these routines, which ones are my child's favorite? What are their most preferred routines? For some, it's bath time. For some, it's meal time. For some, it's neither of those, but you definitely will have some routines that your child really, really likes to do. And you're going to have the other side of the chart or your list is going to be your child's non-preferred routines, which are the ones that we kind of will stay away from when it comes to picking and choosing the best times to teach new skills. So go ahead to the next slide and I'll meet you back here after. So now that we have a good idea of what routines are your child's favorite or preferred and which ones are their non-preferred, we want to talk about why are we teaching during our preferred routines? And this might be a little bit obvious to some, but really, if you think about it, your child is happy and will be engaged and will want to be part of the routines that are their preferred routines. They will actually tolerate change or the introduction of a new skill within that routine better when they are engaged in a preferred activity. It's going to be less of disruption in something, and they have more focus and more regulated attention to give to the activity as well. Another thing that is really important to remember is that caregivers, parents can take advantage of the opportunity of their child being calm and engaged to teach new skills that are naturally occurring throughout the day. And when you think about those opportunities, you might just want to consider, take a step back and go, okay, they're happy, they're engaged, what's one new thing that I can introduce into this activity? So they're playing with their train set, they're super happy with their train set. Maybe you take a train and you go in the opposite direction and see what they will do. See if they will engage, see if they will ask you to turn around, see how they can play with you in something that they're already enjoying by just kind of pushing the limit just a little bit and making small changes. We get lots of time for praise and reward and excitement when they are engaged and happy and doing their familiar routines. And we want to always focus on the positive instead of having to go back and correct and redirect them from doing some things that we don't want them to do. What we're going to do now is we're going to give you some examples of what are some specific skills that you can teach during some of these routines that we've been talking about. And again, we're going to assume that bath time is your child's favorite routine. If it's not, don't worry about this slide and we'll catch you on the next one, hopefully, right? But during bath time, if they're really engaged, we can encourage language development. So what we would do is we would label the different items that they are seeing and experiencing and touching. Bubbles, pop, 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 splash the water, scrub your hair. So making different sounds, telling them what's going on within the bath time routine. We can help them make choices. Do you want to play with the duck or the boat when you're in the bath? We can practice labeling body parts and do body awareness. Let's scrub your tummy. Let's scrub your arms. And so we're giving them lots of opportunity to learn all sorts of different things within bath time. We often want to help children learn how to follow simple instructions. So again, building that into a preferred routine like bath time, we can ask a child to pass you the boat, to pull the plug in the bath, to pour the bubbles in, and all of those are ways for children to be listening and following your instructions. We can practice turn taking, which is a really important skill for young children to have. So my turn to splash, and then you splash, 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 and your turn to splash, 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 splash. My turn to drive the boat, your turn to drive the boat. Within bath time, there's tons of sensory exploration opportunities. The slippery soap, the wet water, the cold, the hot, the hair being wet, the hair being dry. So there's tons of sensory exploration, as well as motor skill development of holding on to the cloth or scrubbing your body or balancing within the bathtub. So lots of great opportunities for sensory and motor skills. Now let's talk about targeting some of those same skills, but within a different routine. And let's again assume that mealtime is a preferred routine for your child. We can start to label items and work on language development, making different sounds. Yum, yum, chew, chew. This is an orange, orange. It's a crunchy apple. This is your fork. You have your food in your blue bowl. Right? So labeling everything that they're experiencing, looking at, touching, so that they're making the association between the word and what is happening. We can give them choices. Do you want to drink out of this cup or this cup? Do you want to eat macaroni and cheese or spaghetti with meatballs, right? We can motivate them to ask for more, so encourage more language development. Give them 1 or 2 goldfish crackers instead of a whole bowl. And then when they look at you and say, hey, where's the rest of my crackers? We encourage and we help them to ask for more. We can also work on turn taking during mealtime, right? So maybe daddy gives 1 scoop with the spoon and then baby does 1 scoop with the spoon. Maybe you can feed daddy and then you can feed baby, right? We can, again, follow simple instructions. Get the food on your fork, or pass me the spoon, or eat the peas. Lots of different instructions. Clear the bowl, put the bowl in the sink. And again, especially in mealtime, lots of different sensory input. There's smells, there's flavors, there's consistencies and textures in their mouth. There's There's things to touch, there's things to feel, there's different things to look at. So mealtime has a lot of sensory exploration to go through, and then tons of motor skill development, coordinating, getting something to your mouth from your high chair tray or from the table is really tricky. And so we want to give lots of opportunity to practice those skills. Well, we've learned a lot about routines and early intervention and why it's important to try to bring in small, short opportunities throughout your day to teach your child new skills. We have to remember that practice makes perfect. So find opportunities throughout the day to just practice one new little thing. And you don't have to do everything all at once, right? So maybe just pick one skill that you're going to try throughout a couple of different routines for the whole week, and you'll start to notice a difference. But we need to celebrate those small victories of you trying something new and of your child trying something new. Remember to try to use simple language throughout the routines. If we give them lots of words and lots of explanation, we're going to lose them. But if we use short words and short sentences and really simple language that they are familiar with, we're going to see a greater increase in those skills in the long run. We've come to the end of session 1. We talked about early intervention and routines. This is a 3-part series, so we will talk about in session 2 how to set up your environment for success. And then in session 3, we're going to be talking about positive behavior supports. I hope to see you there.
Wellness Services at Surrey Place offers over 100 in-person and live virtual events each month. To register, please visit mysurreyplace.ca. View our calendar of events and go ahead and create an account for yourself so that you can register for the free events that are of interest for you. We also offer many additional recorded events and hundreds of resources that may be of interest to you. Recorded events and resources are also available to view for free at a time most convenient for you at surreyplace.ca/resources. We invite you to join the Family Connections group by visiting the Facebook group on your screen here. The link can also be found below in the description. We really hope that you enjoyed this free wellness event. Please take a moment to complete a brief survey by taking a picture of the QR code that you see here on your screen with your mobile device, or by clicking the link in the description below. Thank you so much. Have a great day.